You know, when you really think about it, food is at the center of everything. Our cultures, our families, our actual survival. But the way we've been producing it, well, it's under an incredible amount of strain. So today, we're going to look at how science and technology are completely rewriting the menu and what might be on our plates a lot sooner than you think.
Just let that number sink in. 10 billion. That's how many people we're expecting to have to feed on this planet by the middle of this century. It is a massive, massive figure, and it represents one of the biggest challenges of our time, for sure.
And that really brings us to the core question, right? The question that's driving all of this incredible innovation we're about to see. This isn't just about making more food. It's about finding a way to make it smarter, more ethically, and in a way that our planet can actually sustain.
So, why the big rush? Well, the way we've been farming for centuries is pretty much hitting its limit. The pressure is on, and you can see the whole system is really starting to feel the strain.
And these challenges aren't really separate problems. They're all tangled up together. You know, farming takes up a ton of land and water, which in turn drives deforestation and pumps out huge amounts of greenhouse gases. On top of all that, climate change is making harvest more and more of a guessing game. The bottom line is pretty clear. The old way just isn't going to work for 10 billion people.
But here's the cool part. All that pressure is sparking some seriously amazing creativity. So let's take a look at the high-tech menu of solutions, and we'll start with some things you might already see on the shelves at your local grocery store. For a lot of us, the most familiar change has been this plant-based revolution. I mean, this isn't some small niche market anymore. It's totally mainstream, and it's offering a really accessible way for people to start thinking differently about what they eat. Just think about it. How many of these have you seen around or maybe even tried? Companies like Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods have made plant-based burgers a regular thing. But it goes way beyond that now, with really good dairy-free cheeses and egg substitutes that aren't just trying to imitate the real thing, they're becoming fantastic products all on their own. Okay, so we're moving from the familiar to something that is, well, it's truly groundbreaking. Let's talk about cultivated meat. Now, this is real animal meat. We're talking the same cells, the same taste, the same texture. But instead of coming from a farm, it's grown in a clean, controlled environment, almost like brewing beer. And here's the kicker, no animal has to be slaughtered. The potential impact here is just staggering. When you compare it to traditional beef, cultivated meat could slash land and water use. It is a technology that could completely rewrite the rules of eating meat, both for the environment and for animal welfare. Now let's get into something that feels a bit like science fiction, but I promise you it's real. 3D food printing. And this isn't just a gimmick. It's a way to literally build meals, layer by tiny layer, with unbelievable precision. It's opening up a whole new world for personalized nutrition and, honestly, just beautiful culinary design.
So how in the world does this actually work? Well, it's simpler than you might think. First, a meal is designed on a computer. Then you load these cartridges with what are called nutrient inks, basically purees of different ingredients. The printer just follows the blueprint, building the food one tiny, intricate layer at a time. The result could be a meal perfectly designed for an astronaut or a patient in a hospital, or even just a stunning dish in a fancy restaurant.
So it's not just about how we're making our food, it's also about what we're making it from. This next wave of innovation is digging deep, right down to the ingredients themselves, and it's pushing us to rethink what we even consider to be, well, food. Okay. I know these might sound a little out there, but hear me out. They are nutritional powerhouses. Algae and seaweed can be farmed with a super tiny environmental footprint. And insects, while it might be a new idea for some of us, they are already a sustainable source of protein for billions of people around the world. And the list of innovations just keeps growing. We've got vertical farms growing fresh veggies right in the middle of our cities, which cuts way down on shipping pollution. We have companies turning food waste into totally new, nutritious products. There's even work being done on edible packaging to help us finally get rid of all that plastic. It's a total redesign of the entire system.
But look, technology is only half the story. If we really want to understand the future of food, we absolutely have to talk about the human side of things. Because what we eat, it's deeply, deeply personal.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Food is never just about calories. It's about culture, it's about emotion, it's about tradition. Think about it. A meal can be a celebration, a comfort, a link to our past. Any new food technology, no matter how amazing, has to figure out how to fit into that rich human tapestry. And history shows us that our tastes are always changing. I mean, things we think of as totally normal today were once seen as bizarre or even dangerous.
People in Europe used to call tomatoes poison apples. Potatoes were just this exotic curiosity. So if a plant-based burger can become a staple at a fast food joint, who knows what's next? This timeline really puts that change into perspective.
All this innovation comes with a huge amount of responsibility. As these technologies grow, we have to start asking some big questions. Who's going to own them? Will they just create new corporate monopolies? And maybe most importantly, how do we make sure everyone has fair access to this new generation of safe and nutritious food?
Okay, so with all of that in mind, let's try to bring it all together. What could a dinner in the not-so-distant future actually look like? What could it taste like?
Just imagine sitting down to this meal. For your main course, a perfect piece of seared salmon, cultivated without ever touching an ocean or a river. On the side, a rich, creamy artisanal cheese plate made completely from plants. And for dessert, a beautiful, intricate pastry that was designed and printed just for you. This doesn't just sound sustainable, it sounds pretty delicious.
And if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that this stuff isn't science fiction anymore. It is happening right now, in labs and startups and kitchens all over the world. This future is getting here way faster than most people realize.
Which leaves us with one final huge question. The technology is here, or it's getting here. The science works. The real challenge isn't in the lab anymore. It's in our heads and in our hearts. The question is no longer, can we create the future of food, but are we ready to eat it?